so excited.
It's time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielson, Matt Kassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
All right, it's 12:03 on Edmonton Sports Talk. Thank you very much for being here. If you're listening on TuneIn Radio or iHeartRadio or on the audio player at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, you can fire us a text to get in the mix. Give us a text message. It's 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. If you're watching over on YouTube, obviously hammer the thumbs up for us as well, and we will get into that. No Matt Kassian today. We are expecting Sean Bell to join us. Although Cass was lying to us, Gager.
Or Belsey forgot about us.
Or Belsey forgot. One or the other, it might be happening that way. But Cass texted us yesterday, said Belsey was good to hop in today. So hopefully Sean Bell will hop on at some point. We've got lots to talk about with the Edmonton Oilers. There's no doubt about that. And hey, we want some of your text messages. TSN's doing their top 50 right now. We can debate that a little bit as we work our way through the show. We'll talk about some of these veterans from overseas who are trying to slide in to this Oilers roster this year and how much the Oilers may or may not actually need those guys. But Two Guys A Goalie is brought to you by GS Construction. They are hiring now. GS is looking for experienced pipe layers, operators, top men, and superintendents. Visit www.gsconstruction.ca for more on that. For over 50 years, they've been proud to serve our communities and work alongside incredible people. El Presidente has a birthday today. Happy birthday.
Whoa,
happy birthday, El Presidente. It was good seeing you at Century on a Monday night. Supersized Indiana Jones over on the chat says, nice to see Gage wasn't fired during his performance review.
Oh, it was close. I made a good case for myself.
Yeah.
So.
When we sat down, Awanik said, listen, we are going to fire you. However, you have 10 minutes to convince us you should stay.
God, I feel like Ike Howard right now.
B-Dog. I don't know if I've seen B-Dog over the chat before, but says missing a segment on performance review day. Belsey really does think he's the number one defenseman. This is the first time we've done these like performance reviews. Maddie and I sat down with like everyone in the office now, and we didn't tell everybody, but 2 people will be fired. I mean, it's as simple as that. So Matt and I have to have debates now, and then we're gonna cut 2 people. Trev, you have to realize as a young guy, that's how the media works. No matter how good of job you are or aren't doing, we still reserve the right to fire 2 people every single year. That's how it works.
I think you're joking. I think you're joking, right?
Does this look like a face that's joking to you right now?
It's actually a pretty serious face.
Yeah, it is.
You never have that serious of a face.
Exactly. Because I'm dead serious.
Okay, well, I think you know what? At the end of the day, I was proud with how I performed in my
a good
review.
2-year run. Sorry, your review. Yeah, it was great.
Oh, I can't. You guys need me. You're joking. Yeah, you're joking. He's laughing now.
Trev was trying to start a union earlier in the bullpen.
Oh, if there's one person that wants this place to unionize, it's HR Daddy. He works for QP. He's a union rep. Like that's the last thing. That's the last thing we need around here. Come on, there's no chance. Bronco Nick says Dusty fires himself. I'll tell you this: I could use a little bit of downtime. I would have fired myself for 2 months every summer, and then come back in September. That's what I'm gonna do.
What Jimmy Kimmel does.
Oh, jeez. Does he actually? They take the
whole
summer off. Like a Kimmel joke.
No.
Oh, yeah. Well, a lot of guys do that. Jay Onrait does it.
Yeah.
Onrait
Howard
takes.
Stern.
They all take.
All the big guys.
You have to be pretty popular, pretty secured financially, highly viewed by your company to be like, you know what? Shutting it down for 2 months.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to chill. I'll be back at some point.
Yeah, it's to have such a loyal following that they'll come back in 2 months too. That's impressive. That is really impressive.
That is, you're right. That is very impressive. Now, mind you, when we launched EST, we were off for 2 months. Came back.
Yeah.
And a lot of people followed along, came with.
But it was...
we were unemployed at the time.
That was an interesting time around town because it was like John Michael Bluth, like kicking rocks down like everyone dying for some sort of sports talk to hear. There was nothing out there.
Just nothing there.
Nothing.
That's tough, eh? That's tough. Well, glad we're able to provide it and actually make it much better than it was in the past. So that's a positive as well. All right, so you can message us over on the chat. We'll see if Belsey connects. I'm starting to think maybe Cass got the dates. Do you think it's the classic next Thursday thing? Where Cass was like, hey, Belsey, you want to fill in for me on the next Thursday?
We're going to have Cass and Belsey next week.
No, we won't. First to arrive, we'll get to
those are the
first
two
to
guys that
arrival.
are fired.
We'll stay the day. Yeah. Surprise. Didn't want to break it to everybody this way, but Cass and Belsey are no longer here. You know what? George Michael, I didn't watch.
Oh, you didn't watch?
I watched part. I did watch. Okay. I watched some of them. I was highly entertained by them.
Yeah.
But I didn't like. I've watched maybe like 10 Arrested Developments.
Yeah.
I haven't watched all of them, but I'm a big Bateman guy. I do like Will Arnett, and obviously
Job.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so good. Speaking of Bateman, so you haven't finished?
I'm 2 episodes in.
So I'm like 30 seconds into the first episode and the last 2 minutes as I walked into the kitchen last night as my wife was watching it. So
unbelievable. Somebody told me that it's like some people in the chat have seen when Black. It ends up being awesome.
Oh, it's unreal.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Like, I can always tell when my wife's engaged in a show because there's a contortion. She likes those anxious shows. So both her feet were like pinned forward.
What?
And she twirls her hair when it gets.
When I get tired, I twirl my hair.
Do you?
I twirl it like this when I'm tired.
So she was doing double twirl with both hands watching that show.
Just the first.
The whole time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So she liked it.
I don't know if I'm double twirling on it, but it's been pretty good so far.
Yeah.
So that's good. All right. We'll get to that TSN top 50. They dropped 20-11 today. Good news. McDavid and Draisaitl are in the top 10. Can you imagine if it came up that Draisaitl was like number 12? Yeah. After last night, these guys are still in the top 10. That's absolutely incredible. So we'll get into that a little bit as we work our way through it as well. Sidney Crosby, I think, is at number 13. This dude's 20 years in, which is pretty damn impressive. I mean, that's some LeBron James stuff right there.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible. So we'll get into that as we work our way through the show as well. Your text messages will be welcome at 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Then over on the nasty chat as well. Smash the thumbs up for 2 guys and a goalie here. I see Stuart Skinner's on the graphics over there today. I guess maybe we'll get into that. Gager, how much do you read into preseason in any way, good or bad? Like,
I hate it. I liked it for 2 minutes and then I hate it again.
You're just done with it already.
Yeah, I don't like bad habits. I don't like watching, and maybe I'll get into it on an EST. I was thinking this would be a good red light district. I have something else, but I think
don't give it away. You can save it for red light district.
Yeah, stay tuned for red light district, and I'll get into
that's coming up from 1 to 3, obviously.
Yeah, for preseason, but
I guess we have nothing else to talk about now.
No. You know what? I'll go into because the goal. I think did I ask you? No, I asked Tommy who scored.
Was it the quick little hands in front?
Quick
that went between his
hands
legs?
in front. So
I know the goal you're talking about. Who did score that second goal? Because Furcus from a Moose Jaw Warrior had the first goal.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a younger guy who I thought had more potential, and then has kind of tailed off a bit. I'll figure it out. Go ahead anyway.
So that goal itself, this is going to seem weird, but that shows me that Stuart Skinner doesn't feel comfortable yet. And obviously you're not going to feel comfortable right away in your first game. But sometimes playing goal, you're on a fine line with with your patience level and things happening. So when you look at that goal, if Stuart Skinner doesn't move at all, he just backhands it right into his stick, 5-hole. He stops it quickly. And that's a confidence thing as well, right? So you're almost baiting a guy to go one way or the other. And forwards aren't the smartest group anyways, so they know what they're going to do. So he just throws whoever that was.
Morrison. Logan Morrison, that's right.
Throws a quick fake, and Stu bites on it right away, right? And that's good in a sense, but okay, if you're going to go that way, I can wait a little second and then start moving across with you or reaching, right? But Stuart Skinner just reacts real quick in a real in-tight play, and then he gets it slipped 5-hole. And in a lot of cases, I've seen Stuart Skinner, when a guy's in front of him and tries something like that, he goes, fine, just do whatever you want. I'll wait you out. So there's a patience factor there. And in my mind, when a goalie's feeling it, like I just go back, everything kind of slows down, and I have the patience to not bite on the first fake and wait to see what the player does. And trust me, I've moved too quickly on a lot of kind of chances like that, and it's gone 5-0, and I go, if I was just more patient. So saying all that in a roundabout way is I understand the goal, but I'd like to see Stuart Skinner have a little bit more patience in his game, and maybe that will come from just playing a little bit more.
Was there a balance issue on that goal? It seemed like he sort of fell
that's
over.
what I liked.
Okay, tell me that, because when I saw it, I just thought looked slightly awkward after it went between his legs.
He went like he bit on the first one, right? But usually that's when you would see him bite, fall forward, and just a hope play. At least he was kind of still upright and was
sort of stayed squarish to it, like everything.
So I liked his positioning, and I guarantee if you were in the goalie meetings and just maybe discussing those, the first, if I was the goalie coach, on that goal, I would say patience. That's what we need more of, patience. If he's going to go one way, you have the short side already taken care of. The only way he can go around you is going to your right side. If you wait a second and then start moving across with him, if possible, then you're working on your patience level. And it looked like he was just a little bit too active. And I understand it being your first game, but a little bit more patience and tight, because he's such a big guy anyway.
Let's get to a couple of messages over in the chat. You can text us as well at 780-218-9999. It is Two Guys and a Goalie. Brought to you by the Sandman and his crew over at GS Construction. Travis over in the chat says, y'all aren't losing your minds on Skinner based on one game of preseason play, are you? And then Desker replies, it's 3 years, not one game. KD replies, folks, Skinner is who he is. This is what he is. Stop asking for him to play better. Enough is enough. Get this poor kid out of this market already. We are back. We are fully back. These are not our takes. These are messages that I'm reading, but it sounds like hockey season is back.
This is just the mindset of, preseason, right? It's your first game you've played in months, like that, at a high level. So, and just something that I saw, and everything was there were some good things about that, even though the goal went in, and some poor things. I'm not getting into trading him over one goal or getting him out of town. I'm just breaking it down where I like the fact that he seemed still solid in his positioning. But that's what I took away from that.
Okay, but like I think the interesting conversation here is from a being ridiculed by fan perspective and some media. Let's just say it as it is. I don't want to just put this on fans. But as far as being ridiculed and criticized by people, he starts this season behind the 8 ball. So what does he have to accomplish, Gager, to get back in front of the 8 ball? I know that's not technically the same, but how good does he have to be to start to win some people over so that after one game, and it was preseason, and we get it, I understand it. And a lot of that team could have played better last night for sure. But he's fighting this uphill battle that's going to be pretty damn tough to overcome, I think, in this market. And I worry. Not that I'm a big, Skinner's the guy who's going to help him win a cup, but I worry about the guy in general for the amount of criticism that possibly looms for him here this year.
We said yesterday, Maddie and I, that what satisfies the rabid fan base that of Stuart Skinner haters. What do his numbers have to look like after the first 10 games? And we said, I said anywhere between 915 and 910 save percentage with at least a 2.3 goals against.
And I would also say like maybe only one game with an early goal. But no matter how good he plays, if they lose 1-0, he lets in a goal early. People are going to be on him. You know.
Yeah. A lot. It's weird because not only do his numbers have to be good, but he has to pass the eye test. There can't be slips between the arm when he's set up, or the old lateral movement narrative with Stuart Skinner. He can't go side to side. A lot depends on your team at that point, but yeah, he started slow. I think every year with that he's been the starter of the Edmonton Oilers. He hasn't started great. It's taken him some time. He has to hit the hole perfectly and be one of the best players on the ice consistently throughout this first 10 games. Because I think when you look at the schedule, you would probably say that he's playing 8 of the first 10. I would think.
Yeah, he probably gets. So you know what? And there's a couple of things here. Connor Ingram's been placed on waivers, so we can discuss that. That's another goaltender. That would be your prototypical different look.
Yeah.
Right? That would be your different look guy. And we'll get to Ingram in a second. He's coming back. He was in the player rehab program, I believe. And he's been placed on waivers. That could be a different look between the pipes, which is kind of interesting. But where is 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. I wanted to get to this one message here from Brian Smeaton. I'm not sure if we've seen you in the chat before, Brian. If you're new, thank you very much. We're here every Tuesday and Thursday with Two Guys and Goalie, and then the Oil Stream Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Brian says, preseason is whatever, but I do stand by the fact that he needs competition to push him. And Gager, would you view Pickard as, like, Pickard is a very serviceable backup, but is he a goaltender? I guess in order to push a guy, I always view it as you have to think that the organization would be willing to turn the reins completely over to that other guy. And I'm not sure this team would do that with Pickard. So maybe that's a valid point of get somebody else in here to put a little bit more pressure on him. Are we stretching with that take from Brian?
No, I think Pickard has, at his age right now and his skill set and what we've seen in the past, he has solidified himself as a number 2 guy. Break glass in case of emergency, can get you through some
and could do the job sometimes.
And do the job, right? But as for challenging for I don't think that narrative happens with Pickard at this point. He needs to be great too, because there's going to be times when he's going to probably have to take the ball for a certain amount. There's hills and valleys for every goaltender throughout the regular season. Now, I don't know how familiar you are with Star Wars, but one of the first Dark Lords of the Sith, Darth Bane, said it best, where if you really want competition in the goaltending category, and this is in a galaxy far, far away, he says you have to have one to have the power and another one to crave it. And that's the rule of 2. And I think it applies in goaltending, where you have the one guy that's the
what
big dog.
What a reference, first of all. What a reference.
And you have to have the young one craving to be the new one, right? And that's the rule of 2.
Couple of text messages on this, 780-218-9999. This feels like our first show of like the new season.
Oh,
with a good old fashioned Skinner conversation. I feel like we're back, baby. We'll get to and this also fits the new season conversation. McDavid and Draisaitl, should they be together? We'll get into that as well. But Sean texts in and says, I think what drives people most nuts about Stuart Skinner is he's just a notch below being a great goalie. And if he was great, they would probably have won a cup by now. It's like constantly shooting 90 in golf. You just want to be in the 80s, and you're almost there. You still think there's some upside there, though, right? This is not you. I'm starting to lean towards this is who he is.
Yeah,
but a little bit. I think maybe not as much as some other people who are saying this is who he is. I think there's a glimmer still, But you think there's still another step to his game, don't you?
There has to be.
Yeah.
There has to be, I think. I think there is. I really think that you will. I am quite optimistic about Stuart Skinner this season, where you're going to. This is his third full season as being the number one guy. You know what to expect. You start learning what it takes to be successful already. And I mean, say what you want about the weight loss and things like that, but obviously he realizes something about his body that will make him be more successful, I think. Experience as a goaltender is so, like, playing in the NHL, playing against the same people and recognizing tendencies. You get kind of an advantage as a consistent number one guy. So, and the heartbreak of losing, like it's probably affected him a lot too, losing two chances.
You don't think he sits there and goes, "Hey, I also got a chance to play in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, which I always dreamed of as well, and didn't get the job done." Like there's a lot of unfinished work, and he's still not a finished product. And I'm looking forward to a new voice with the goaltending coach, right? Like that's a good a fresh set of eyes. So I think the biggest mistake Edmonton could do is let him go, because I guarantee you will fall into a Devin Dubnyk type of situation where he goes into another organization and becomes their number one for the next number of years. Andrew, the accountant, texts in, and of course, during Two Guys and a Goalie, presented by GS Construction. You can text in as much as you want about hockey, and we'll dive into as many of these as we can. Andrew, the accountant, says it's almost like he was never supposed to be the starter the last 3 years in the first place. And like the whole Stuart, it is a great point. Like the whole Stuart Skinner process. This is how I've consumed Skinner content since when he was in Lethbridge playing for the Lethbridge Hurricanes as like a 15/16-year-old. I have buddies down there. One of them's a board of directors for the Hurricanes. And they were texting me being like, you should see this Stuart Skinner kid. Like, he's 16, he's a giant, and he's gonna play. And then, his junior career, I think, probably didn't go as well as they had projected it to be when he was 15, 16 in Lethbridge. And then the Oilers end up getting him drafted where it was. But I'm trying to think back along the way, were we saying, this is the guy? This is the number one goalie for the future of the Edmonton Oilers. And until he sort of got thrust into it because of the Jack Campbell situation, I mean, I think we were thinking, he could be an NHL goalie, but nobody was Dustin Wolfing this guy in the American Hockey League going, he's a future number one on a Stanley Cup contender, right? So he's never really supposed to have been projected as that guy. I think we just elevated him to it because he's a goaltender on a really good team.
His road to become a number one goalie in the NHL it's the long way around, because his peer group was Carter Hart in those years. In
that group that was coming along,
and they seemed to get to the NHL a lot quicker, right? But again, and Dustin Wolf a little bit different. He was winning MVP awards in every league he was in too. So I just, this year I am going to be, I think Stuart Skinner is going to have a great year. But saying that, if it's too inconsistent this year, when you've had that much experience to fall back on, the highs and lows, like the amount of elephant tough skin you should have developed at this point.
Oh man.
Like you could shoot him with a gun and he would probably just bounce off at this point, right? So this is why I think Stuart Skinner will be able to handle this and have a more successful, consistent season with his play.
All right, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Oh, somebody said it's Quinn Phillip. Quinn Phillip's birthday today too.
Oh, happy birthday.
The commish. The commish of the EST drafts.
Nice.
You need to put your name in the mix for the next EST draft? You've drafted before. You could draft again.
I went out on such a high note.
Oh, yeah, you won bald guy draft.
And I drafted myself.
And yeah, you might not want to ever draft again. Like, you're never going to be able to top winning bald guy draft.
Yeah.
Because who was in bald guy? Me, Eric, you, and Uke?
Yes.
A Yukon Jack, because he's bald too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a battle of the balds.
You won bald guy draft, and you picked yourself. Pretty legendary move. That's a pretty legendary move. All right, Hampton Steve says, there is nothing that Skinner can do to win over his haters. He could win the Conn Smythe as part of a cup win, and his haters would still complain that he can't do it again, and he was the limiting factor to the Oilers having not already won. And here's the other thing I would say on that. If he got the Conn Smythe, people are like, there's no way Connor shouldn't have got that. They're just, it's just how it is. Look, man, give this guy a chance. I know it sounds crazy. We've seen him for the last couple years. But let's see how he looks coming out of the gate. Hopefully there's some signs of a different voice, like you said. Hopefully there's some signs of, he is moving maybe a little bit quicker, being down a few lbs. Mm-hmm. Is that what comes from that? Like, do you lose the weight to become quicker, more nimble around the crease, or?
There's a side to it, yeah. But I also think the amount of, he's a big dude, right? And what was he playing at? 225, 230?
Yeah, because he's down to like 215-ish now. Yeah.
So every time you go down, it's double the force on your knee joints, right? So just in practice alone, how many times up and down, up and down? This is a longevity thing. And the one thing about Stuart Skinner that is really good, and it's only happened last year, is his durability, right? Like look a lot around the league, and a lot of other goaltenders have to take time off because they get hurt. Stuart Skinner, it was because of a freak accident with a knee to the head, I think, that pardon the pun, knocked him out of play for a little bit. But other than that, his body's really held up well.
Well, and Chester over on the chat, I don't know if I've seen Chester much either. Welcome aboard here, buddy. He said he lost weight for longevity. Yeah. Not going to be a season by season. I mean, that's going to help too. You're going to be going down, taking that many reps. It's going to make a little bit of a difference for sure. All right, McDavid and Draisaitl. Not a banner night last night, but it is the first game of the preseason. Preseason means absolutely diddly squat, which is a phrase I think we should use more around here. Diddly squat. But it means something for some people. It does not mean anything for Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, right?
Obviously not. Yeah. Because they were trying to essentially make highlight reel films the whole night with passing. And I don't, whatever. Take what you want out of it. They didn't look good it was a brutal game anyway. Yeah, it wasn't, there was nothing there. I didn't like it. I didn't like their play, to be honest, but it's preseason. So
what do you think about Frederick with them? YouTube Trev said he was not very noticeable last night.
No, I didn't know who that was.
Yeah. That looked like another ordinary guy who's at camp and getting a chance to play with him.
But
that's not necessarily great.
It's hard to play in a preseason game with the two best players when they're not taking it seriously.
Fair point.
They're not. Yeah,
they're trying to dipsy doodle and make these
trying to get timing and stuff. Like what are you supposed? Are you supposed to now go run?
Especially because his game's not that game.
His game is so ineffective if it's not at 100% all the time. So it's almost like you don't even want to play Frederick with them until the regular season, until it actually means something, and you're going up against another team that every guy on the team is treating it the same way. I don't know. Too many.
I had this question on my notes. I'm not even sure I want to bring it up, but the decision to start McDavid and Draisaitl together, okay? Is it in any way related to keeping Connor around? It sounds ridiculous to say.
It is ridiculous.
But I'm just trying to figure out, like, anything with McDavid right now ties into keeping him around, convincing him to stay, do this. Like, it's going to be a ton of conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of hopping into this one a little early, I guess.
But I think there's something to that a little. In a fraction of it might be true, Dusty. Because, look, when they put them together, you know what I don't like when they're apart and they get put back together?
Yeah.
They seem to get a jump and they start it seems like there's an extra little gear that they get into when they're together.
And you don't like that because where is that? Yeah.
Where is it when they're apart? And so
That's fair.
And I don't. And who was it? Derek Ryan years ago when was it? Who took over?
It was when Woodcroft took over and gave everybody a role on the team. I know that was when Derek Ryan chatted with the media and said, "This is great. We each have a role. Everyone's contributing to the team." That's when Woody took over. But then Woodcroft eventually drifted back to those two guys as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
last year he took Knobloch 2 periods, and then they were together.
I know. I don't like that when I see that in a game where they've all of a sudden got tons of jump, but they're playing together again. Where is that when they're not together? And maybe there's something to it. Maybe they want to try and get their stuff. Maybe this was a discussion that Knobloch had with his 2 best players. What do you guys want to accomplish here?
Thanks, man.
Wow.
Blue guy went and got Slurpees.
Jeez.
They didn't have grape, eh? That's okay. I like blue.
I did the ice cream tutorial for us.
Oh, did you? Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. In Winnipeg, they don't put ice cream on their Slurpees ever.
Really?
Yeah. And they're the Slurpee capital of the world.
Are they really?
They are. Nobody sells more Slurpees than Winnipeg.
They have 7-Elevens there?
Yeah. And it makes no sense. Anyway, shout out Glue Guy. Circle K by my place. Yeah, the ice cream machine's right next to It's right next to the Slurpee.
So you just,
Same with the one by my house.
Yeah. The girl always got mad at me because I would take my big Yeti in.
Were you allowed to do that?
No.
Did she say anything, or did she just give you the stink eye all the time?
She goes, "You're supposed to put it in the cup." I go, "I know, but it's the same. Even charge me for the large. It's actually less than the large." But
you're saving them money because you're providing your own cup.
Yeah, and then I go across the street to the liquor store, tequila, and I got my margarita for the dog park.
Also into the Yeti. So what is that, Mickey?
Yeah.
So just a Mickey of tequila in there.
Well, not the whole Mickey.
I was going to say, why didn't this come up in the performance review?
Well,
why didn't you tell me you have a drinking problem when I asked you straight up, do you have a drinking problem?
I had to get that contract signed first.
I'm gonna get brain freeze so quickly. I've been having a hard time with brain freeze this summer.
Really?
Yeah, like 2 or 3 sips, man. It's just hit me hard.
And
then you do this.
Is that what?
That's what my kids have taught me.
Isn't it tongue to the roof of your mouth?
I try that. I do them both right now. I go and tongue on the roof of the mouth and do it and I slip in the head. Oh, that feels nice though. Yeah.
But don't you notice that when they're together, like if they're apart, they're so and so, and then they get put together, and all of a sudden there's some jump.
It's frustrating. It's almost like I don't want to say pathetic, but you're like, come on, where was this?
Yeah.
Like sometimes it seems like Leon just has more jump when he's with Connor, and Connor all of a sudden gets more aggressive when he's with Leon. Like, I don't know.
I don't like it because what we've seen. Let me ask you this, Dusty. Like whatever, regular season, and I'm fully invested in this season. Just one game. I'm taking it one game at a time.
Okay.
You're
not looking ahead to the postseason.
No, I don't want to. I am actually looking forward to looking at this one game at a time and seeing a progression because there's younger players and stuff like that. But when it's all said and done, and if they get back to the finals and they're playing the Florida Panthers,
oh boy,
for them to have success, can they play together or do they have to be apart?
I think when it's all said and done, they raise a Stanley Cup with them on different lines. I've said that for years.
Yeah.
And I get why a coach would be, it's so sexy. You're like, oh, I have two of the top 4 players in the league. I'm going to play them together. But then you see it. And the last few years, it's been in the Cup final. In other years, it started to happen a little bit sooner, and then it didn't work out. You see it sometimes in critical regular season games where they're just like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
And I just think you make the rest of the team so easy to play against when you put those two guys on the same line. An excellent team like Florida goes, oh, thank you. We got you now.
Here comes Seth Jones and Ekblad.
And I also don't think it was like, I think last year I remember talking about it. it wasn't like those two guys lit the world on fire when they were together last year either. It wasn't
No.
like it was automatic. Oh, they're together tonight, 7 combined points. That wasn't the case last year.
They had chances. They maybe when things weren't working well, but that was the whole thing. 2 years ago when Naba took over, weren't there times during that season where you felt there was a comfort in playing in games that it was 0-0, 1-1 for a longer period
When
of time?
Knobloch first took over that first year.
There was just
Agreed.
We'll play this way.
When they went on their heater
Yeah.
to like save the season and elevate themselves, it was like you were surprised when they allowed a goal against.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
they were playing outstanding defense for that stretch.
And I think it was Foot that said we're going to morph to the play of the other team or whatever. But in a way, the Oilers played that way. They played a patient game, and they didn't get overzealous and try to. There wasn't chance hockey. There's a chance the puck might squeak out. So let's blow the zone and try to get out. It was perfect hockey during that stretch. They frustrated the other teams to make mistakes and then capitalized. And I think by putting them together if you're going to do it, then do it, I guess, because we're going to see it anyway. But what does that say to the rest of the team? Because we heard Derek Ryan say now at least we have responsibility. And it seems like when those two get put together, the rest of the team kind of sits on the bench and goes, okay, well, Connor and Leon got to get us some goals here.
I mean, there's a couple of things that come out of this for them together. First of all, if not Frederick, who would you like to see start the year with them?
Mangiapane.
Okay. I like that answer too. I think it probably would have been my answer.
Yeah.
And then the other one is if those two guys are together, and let's just play the game this way that Mangiapane is with them, what's your second line to drive offense?
Well,
Nuge with a rookie and Frederick on his left side. Like that's like,
yeah.
I'm not sure other teams are overly challenged by that trio. If
there's
that's the
better
case.
second lines than that.
Yeah.
In the Pacific.
Yes.
Nuge has to. What type of player is Ryan Nugent-Hopkins now at this point of his career?
I think he's. First of all, I think there's still those games where he'll look really good.
Yeah.
But I think he's a 60-point guy that is a good offensive complementary player. And that's kind of how you describe Nuge for most of his career, I guess.
He goes through stretches where you could consider him the best player on the ice some nights, right? Like he's on both
They're
ends.
a little bit fewer and further between now, but
like I look at LA and look at Deneau. Can't he be a better Deneau at this point in his career as a solid shutdown, hard to play against?
so you're almost
two-way
like
center?
telling him that's your job now.
Yeah.
Like you're two-way center guy. You're not McDavid's left winger.
No. Yeah.
We need you to become Jonathan Taves light.
Yeah.
You know, like
Something like that.
like a poor man's version
Mm-hmm.
of Jonathan Taves type of thing.
Yeah.
You think he's capable of that?
I don't know.
That's I understand the concept. I'm not sure he's capable of that.
I don't. It's. And one of these young guys.
Bronco Nick says Nuge needs to start looking at Mike Pekka tapes.
Wouldn't that be something?
I mean, Mike Pekka would be a guy that was like
Mike
Mike Pekka with
My
this team.
Gosh. That would be perfect.
Shouldn't even have brought that up, Bronco Nick.
No.
That's a pretty good one.
Because Henrique, watching him, seems like the same Henrique we saw last year. Just a little, seems like he's lost a step, you know?
Yeah, I'm not expecting a bounce back year from Henrique. I think this is just who Henrique is now.
Yeah.
28, 30 points.
Yeah. Which is still
kill
good.
Kill penalties.
Yeah.
Straight up bottom six forward.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess part of the reasoning is having McDavid and Draisaitl together is to try to get the team off to a better start. We know they haven't been great starters, but is that the best way to get them off to a better start? You're gonna put those two guys together, and then a bunch of other guys Mangiapane, Frederick hasn't played with this group much. Savoy hasn't really played with this group much. You're taking the rest of the guys. I could see if you had some consistencies there and you're like, well, we know what the rest of that group's going to do. You do not know what the rest of this group's going to do. So for me, I'm almost thinking if they're talking about getting off to a great start, it's 24, 25 minutes a night for McDavid and Draisaitl at the gate. I'm like, that doesn't seem like a recipe for establishing yourself early in the year.
That's not going to help at March and April, right? Those guys playing that much together. But if you're going to do it, I say just do it then. If you're going to play them together and try to find whatever works with lines 2, 3, and 4, I guess. Because they're going to play together, Dusty. It's
We're going to know at times. But, like, they could start together, and I honestly... I wouldn't be stunned if at the beginning of the third period, they're each -2, and Knobloch's like, yeah, let's put you on different lines. And we joke about it, but it's exactly what happened last year in the reverse fashion. You're like, oh, look at this. They're starting the year with these two guys apart.
Yeah.
And then in game 3, late in the second period, or in the third period, or late in the second period of the first game, I remember tweeting and being like, it took 34 minutes and 53 seconds for them to go with those guys back together again, right? So... The unknown texts in today, and you are listening or watching Two Guys and a Goalie here on Edmonton Sports Talk, brought to you by GS Construction. If your buddies like good hockey talk every single day, all day long, tell them to download the iHeartRadio app or the TuneIn Radio app or over on YouTube as well. The unknown says the others have too many unknowns in the forward group. The team needs to play defensive hockey to win games 2-1, 3-2. They will score less this year than last year. And if they play structured and patient, I actually think they could find success.
I would, my favorite type of team, and maybe it's not the most exciting to watch, but it is the counter-punching team, right? With a lot of skill that drives teams nuts because their structure, and it's so hard to generate chances. But then if you make a mistake, they are jumping on you. Somewhat like the Florida Panthers. Like they play, when they get into those games, and we talk to people down in Florida, and they seem to save it for the hard ones, but their suffocating style of play is so hard to play against. And there's no reason why the Edmonton Oilers and their forward group can't frustrate other teams with their play without the puck. I think there has to be a subtle adjustment throughout the whole. That's why I asked, do you think Knobloch changes up his style of play now? And maybe it's having his own coaching staff, kind of like everything's refreshed.
We haven't talked about that as much. Like this is his group now.
Yeah,
he was sort of placed into what was going on before.
He was basically bowling with guardrails. It seemed like, right? Now he's got those are gone.
I would like to bowl with guardrails once.
It's fun.
Hey,
yeah,
just chucking it as hard as you want.
You throw that thing like a BB.
You know, Trev, he goes bowling. They're bowling all the time now. Like every weekend, he and a bunch of his old co-workers at Boston Pizza.
Really?
But they play the 5-pin.
Oh.
Not the 10-pin.
I like the 5-pin.
Yeah, I grew up on 5-pin. We didn't have 10-pin as an option in Cranbrook. But I think over the years, I grew more to like the 10-pin. But we went back to Cranbrook, and I was bowling at Christmas time, and we were back on the 5-pin. And I don't know which I prefer more now. I totally got sidetracked.
I like the 5-pin, to tell you the truth.
I don't know which one I'm better at.
I suck at both.
I'm also not that good a bowler. All right, 780-218-9999 is where you can chime in. We've almost done an hour on Skinner and McDavid and Draisaitl playing together. So like I said, we are so back, baby. This is the most back thing ever. Lepinen and Tomasek, Gage, are two guys from Europe coming over. I think already, I would say Lepinen's probably been the biggest surprise at camp so far. And then seems to be positive reports on Tomasek as well. How tough is it for those guys, you think, to find a spot on this team?
Tomasek,
could Lepinen be the 7 to start the year?
Could. I don't know if you want that, though.
Get him down in the American League,
and just let him
playing
see.
a bit. Not a bad idea.
There's going to be injuries.
I think there's an NHL player there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a bright light. Like you always say, I always say if a staff doesn't know their team, this is exhibition games, blah, 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 they basically know what it's going to look like game one. There might be an outlier, right? But this is the first time where a guy's come in and go, let's this guy might, let's see what he does when it's all NHLers on the ice, right? Like, he's probably been the most noticeable player, I would say, in preseason.
So that's positive.
Yeah.
You know what? This is unfair comparison. It's just the first thing I think of when I see, and I think Leppin is like 6 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not a big man by any stretch of imagination, but he led the Finnish league in scoring last year. Anytime one of these smaller offensive defensemen come over from Europe around this age, I instantly think of Brian Rafalski, who spent 4 years in Finland and then came back at 26, which is what Leppinen is right now, and settled into a pretty good role in New Jersey and ended up putting up 833 games in the National Hockey League. So now Rafalski was an American who played WCHA, NCAA at Wisconsin, and then went over to Europe for 4 years. But when he left to go over to Europe, he probably wasn't thinking, I'm going to come back and play almost 1,000 games in the National Hockey League. So it's a bad comparison, which is why I shake my head when I said it. But anytime I see one of these smaller guys who lighted up offensively in Finland on the back end, I think Rafalski now. It's not going to happen, but that's what I think.
I played against a Finnish defenseman in like the Sweden hockey games and all the international tournaments. His name was Petri Numelin, I think. I think he played with the Minnesota Wild for a bit. He was
Terry Numelin.
Yeah, he was funny because he played the violin every time he scored. I think he played in Davos.
Every time he scored, he played 3 years in Davos.
Yeah, he played in Davos.
Yeah, so he got colored Spengler Cups under his belt.
Yeah, he would play because his dad, I guess, was a famous Finnish player too. But kind of like in that mold, he probably led the Finnish league in scoring at one point too. He was dynamic.
His dad would have been Timo Numelin.
Yeah,
who played like 15 years for Turku.
Yeah,
I think Petteri Numelin probably in 92, 93. Let me just check on this. Yes. He played with my man Saku Koivu.
Did he?
Back in the day. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he would have.
Yeah.
For sure. But I remember him with the Wild.
5'10" Finnish defenseman.
Yes, he was little.
Yeah.
Very great skater and skilled, right? But just, it didn't translate that well. But maybe there's something here. It's a different game now, right? That's 30 years
Numelin came over, played with the Jackets in 2000 for 61 games, then went to Lugano for 5 years.
Yeah.
Then came back and hit Minnesota, then went Lugano, and then actually finished his time back at Turku.
Yeah.
Which is what happens.
That's what happens.
Those guys,
They're so lucky, those guys. Yeah.
Yeah. He put up some big numbers in Switzerland, though, on the back end.
Great.
Smokes.
Like, you talk about a guy that ran everything from the back. He was awesome.
Really?
Oh, God. It was scary to play against him.
Amish Man 19 says, Leppinen sure looks better than Johan Ovitu. That's for sure. Yeah, those are good. Hey, so the TSN top 50, they've been doing this. Bouchard came in at 39. 20-11 were dropped today. Sidney Crosby comes in at 13 on that list at this stage of his career, Gager. That's pretty ridiculously impressive.
We said, I think it was just a few weeks ago, does he get to year, 22 with over a point a game? And how can you not say?
I don't know I don't know why you would doubt him at that point.
No, I think it's a given. This guy, still one of the top players in the NHL after this is his 22nd season. God, it's crazy how good he's been for this long.
Here's the group that he's in with. Number 20, Willie Nylander of the Toronto Maple Leafs. He was also number 20 last year. Zach Werenski's 19, went unranked last year. Sam Reinhart's at 18. Jack Hughes is at 17. Braden Point is at 16. Mikko Rantanen down 5 spots from 10 to 15. Mitch Marner up 9 spots.
Really?
From 23 to 14. Gets out of Toronto, instantly jumps 9 spots. He was just always picked on with the Leafs. Sidney Crosby was 14 last year, moved up a spot.
Okay.
13 ridiculous. Like last year, he had 91 points in 80 games and won 57% of the almost 1,800 faceoffs he took.
Yeah. I like when he gets into the draw the first time. If he's facing off against a young guy or the next up and comer, and he just snaps it right back.
Sorry, kid. Alexander Barkov is 12 on this list. He left practice today after a non-contact injury, helped off the ice. So something to follow there for Florida. Somebody needs to tell the Panthers, though, that they don't need to fake injuries during the season anymore because it's been changed now come playoff time. And then
did you see that Pietrangelo says he wants to come back?
Well, I thought like 5 days ago it said he might not play again.
I know. Yeah, it did. I read a thing that said, I might want to come back.
What a twist. He must love Mitch Marner. And then Jack Eichel. So, I mean, in the Oilers division, you got McDavid and Draisaitl. Obviously, they'll be in the top 10 on this thing. I'm thinking probably in the both of them in the top 5.
Yeah.
I would think both top 5. But with Marner going to Vegas, Mitch Marner's 14, Jack Eichel's 11 on this list. That's a pretty good 1-2 punch in the division now.
Yeah. No, it'll be. I do think the Pacific will stay the same with the top 3, but I think it's going to be fun to kind of watch Mitch Marner a little bit closer now that he's in the division, right? What does him and Eichel look like? Because they're both kind of puck possession guys, right? Not that Connor and Leon aren't, but
yeah. Well, we'll see what's coming up in EST afternoons. What do we got here?
We're going to be recapping the Kraken Oilers game from last night. Matthew Parrish in the first hour, U of A Pandas rugby head coach, will be checking in to preview the World Cup final between Team Canada's women's team this Saturday as they take on England out in London. 2:00, it's Gagers Red Light District. And at 2:25, Cordell Jackson from the Elks will be checking
and
in.
That dude is
well.
all over the place.
Yeah.
Defensively, he is in on everything. I love Cordell Jackson. If he was 2 inches taller, he'd be in the National Football.
Really?
Yeah, like Cordell Jackson is that good. He's just he's a little bit small.
And they say size doesn't matter, hey?
Zach, not right now.
well, same with Nick Anderson, kind of too, right? If he was a little bit taller.
Yeah, because Nick, he's a little ball of hate,
Yeah.
that guy, but he's so good. He's just a nice guy too. So I guess Belzy's not going to join us. I guess we don't let Cass book replacements anymore. But it was still a fun conversation.
It was good.
Yeah, EST Afternoons is coming up next. That'll be followed by the Reed Wilkins Show today from 3 until 6. I'll be back. I'm actually in on a Friday this week because I'm not flying out to Winnipeg till tomorrow afternoon.
Smokes.
So, yeah, we'll have a fun Friday show coming up on the Nielson Show tomorrow morning. Looking forward to that. 2 Guys and Goalie brought to you by GS Construction. For Joaquin Gage, I'm Dustin Nielson. Don't go anywhere if you're on TuneIn or iHeart. Or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, less than 5 minutes away from EST Afternoons. And if you're over on YouTube, smash the thumbs up for us. Make sure autoplay is on, and that'll take you right on over to EST Afternoons as well. Take it easy.